Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's CNCF TAG Environmental Sustainability Meeting. Today is Wednesday, the 17th of January, 2024. Right, so this is a community meeting, so it falls under CNCF Code of Conduct, which can be summarized to be just excellent to each other. I sent the link to the meeting notes in chat, so the document which I'm currently sharing my screen. Please add yourself to attendees list. And if you have anything you would like to discuss, feel free to add your topics to the open discussion items. The document is edit all, so you can just add your topics. With that, I would like to welcome any new attendees who attend this meeting now for the first time. I see a lot of familiar faces, but if you are joining for the first time, or maybe you joined for a long time, feel free to introduce yourself if you like. All right, then let's move on to the updates from the working groups, starting with working group comms. I see Trisha, you're on the call. Would you like to give a brief update?
Last week's meeting was postponed. The last meeting, so we're only really collectively getting back together this week as a group. So there's no official updates, but we will be looking in. There's a couple of PRs about communicating the different KubeCon events, and we'll be seeing what's the best medium to share all this information. Hopefully we can get this sorted out this week.
Sounds good. Yeah, we have on Thursday, so tomorrow, like a special meeting to discuss KubeCon China as well. So there's interest from the folks from China to also talk about sustainability topics, and they engaged us. So because the regular meeting time is not very convenient for Asia Pacific time zone, we have like a special meeting. So if you would like to join that as well, would be great. And probably, yeah, later then about KubeCon EU. I also added one item to the open discussion items about the tag, and we signed up for a kiosk or mini booth. For the last KubeCons, we did not do that, but I think it's like a great place to meet and to engage with the community. So we will try this out, as we also discussed before. All right. Any comments, questions about communications, working group comms? All right, then let's move to working group green reviews. Nikki, would you like to give an update?
Yeah, so we started off the new year really strong. We have merged PRs or have open PRs for all of the components that we need for the cluster. That includes Kepler, Falco, the demo workload, etc. And we're moving into the metrics phase. We have opened an issue, and we would love your feedback. Also, just making sure that you know where to go if you'd like to, propose a metric that you think would be useful to gather. Of course, the goal is still to get energy metrics and work towards the SCI eventually. But we're also going to be reporting on some standard traditional SRE metrics as well that we can then correlate with the energy metrics in the future. So we're going to be starting with idle metrics for Falco. That's the immediate next step. and we're very close to having the foundation of the cluster in a ready state. Hopefully in the next week or two. We're still working to get AWS access. There's been some progress. We previously looked at different options and landed on, the fact that storing the OpenTofu state in the S3 bucket is still the easiest thing for us to do. So we're just waiting to get access to AWS. Ross, I think you're in the call. Would you like to add something, a call out?
I think that pretty much covers it. I think it's exciting. We're getting towards the end of the automation phase and going to start capturing metrics. So I think we've had really good progress kind of start of the year, and looking forward to getting into the metrics part.
Nice, sounds great. I like the approach, like having like a broad spectrum of metrics, and then we can iterate over time, refine it. But having like both sides, also regular metrics, good idea. But we discussed this for a long time, so all right, awesome. Any questions, comments for green review? So the next meeting is next week, right? Next week, Wednesday, yes.
Yep.
All right. Then moving on to the open discussion items. The first one is from you, Nikki. Presentation from Arne about automating SCI during the tag meeting. Next week, right? No,
Yeah.
3 weeks.
In the next tag meeting. So I wanted to share, someone could share a link to that. I can't do both at the same time. Actually. So in this discussion, you can find more information. But right, thank you for sharing that. So Arne has and the community have created the green metrics tool, which is a way to automate gathering metrics such as the SCI, the software carbon intensity index. And it's a reference architecture, and we're doing a very similar thing by creating a reference architecture using cloud native tooling for measuring the SCI of cloud native application. So we talked about, if they could come do a presentation on how they are automating and measuring the SCI at the next tag meeting. So just wanted to confirm that this works, and also announce it. And I think it will be really interesting.
Yes, 100%. This works 100%. So I think also in the past, these like more project it's a project, right? But it's probably in this case also a little bit more. It's like also the approach, I suppose. So maybe like some learnings we can also integrate in the working group green reviews. So that's a great idea. Very happy this is happening. And I also looked at the tools when he opened this. Looks very interesting. And I know Max is also in contact, or was in contact at a conference in Germany about those tools and those ecosystem. And he mentioned that all these tools are looking very interesting, but they don't have like they're not very present in the ecosystem. So not so many people know about this. So it's great to kickstart or kick off the discussion.
It would definitely also, I think my ask for him was if we can focus also on the rates of function and like the software boundary and how that was measured, because that is a very subjective aspect of the SCI. we can get the energy and we can get the carbon, but how you measure the rates of function is a subjective decision. So it would be interesting to discuss, for a specific example, such as Falco, although Falco is a little bit complex and can be a high barrier to entry. But if we can come up with a tool and discuss, how would you decide on what the rate of function is, I think that would be a good group exercise as well, just to show how you get to that point.
Yeah.
If we have time.
100%. Probably we need to focus the discussion because it can probably lead, like, I don't know, can be hours probably discussing those things, but great to that he has time and it's interesting join our meetings. All right. Any more voices to this? If not, let's move to the next one, which is basically something that most of you already know about, because this is now in the works for quite some time. And we also discussed this in the last meeting of last year, the roadmap planning for the tag. So we are planning to, in January, to discuss our goals and the projects, more or less, that we want to achieve this year. So basically that we are on the same page and can work against deadlines and kind of collaborate a little bit more against goals. I think this is helpful. So there's this discussion which I forgot to link, but I can find it very briefly. Wait, no, that's the wrong repository. It's also the wrong repository. Right, so we opened this discussion end of last year, and we already collected a lot of feedback. I think most of you know about this, and we also walked through a couple of these, but we have not yet decided like which of these ideas. There are a bunch of ideas which are actually a line of the tag, so not all ideas are maybe like fully like in scope of the tag, and we don't have also the capacity to work on everything simultaneously. But we will schedule next week and probably also the week after, like a special meeting to focus just on that. So if you have any last ideas which came maybe between the years, but where usually like is a break, maybe, I don't know, you had like an idea, feel free to add this, so we can plan our goals next week. If you have like any experience or would like to help with wrangling those ideas, wrangling the discussion around this, planning the roadmap, any help would be very much appreciated. Feel free to let me know right in the Tag Environment Sustainability Slack. And yes. Any comments, questions about the roadmap? Yes, Jochen?
Yeah, kind of. Because you just mentioned that over Christmas. So over Christmas, I've been busy rewriting or writing initially the second draft or the second version or the second iteration or whatever you want to call it of the landscape document, just like I promised. I'm not ready yet to show that to any audience. However, I would love to get some feedback maybe in early February so that we can get it done until the end of February so that we can launch or announce or whatever we want to do with it at KubeCon EU in March. How do you like these odds? Do you think that's realistic? Do you need anything from me? How do we proceed?
No, I saw you joined the meeting, and I also remembered that we, I think also Christina is also like on board on rewriting the landscape document. So I added this to the discussion items here because I think we kind of set the goal already for this one for talk about this at KubeCon EU. So awesome to hear.
Yeah, I'm moving as fast as I can, and I really want to keep that deadline because I think it's really important, and it's a great opportunity to highlight our work and to spread awareness and just emphasize what we do here.
Sounds great. Yeah, very much appreciated. So if you like, you can also push like interim changes already to your fork or whatever. So probably like this is like a larger rewrite as you like the document itself right now is already quite large. So maybe iterating over this like in steps, like in chunks, can also be helpful. But
Yeah. I want to start with that in February, early February. Could I don't know. I don't want to use the term misuse or occupy the comms meeting for that at some point, or should we discuss it here, just to get some opinions across? Because I think it's not the best use of our time if we all read it and then comment and then read the comments again and then comment on those comments and stuff. I think it's much faster just 3 or 4 people read my ideas, read the previous version or the current version, and then just talk about it.
Yeah. So reviewing the document, we would like to do this like besides the meeting, not during the meeting, but definitely discussing any like discussion items about this, like design choices, anything like this. Would make sense to have this like in the regular tag meeting, because it's like basically like the scope of the tag. It's exactly I think fitting this meeting scope. So having like refining like questions after the review and then discussing these in this meeting sounds great.
Great. There's one more question, because I want to add some graphics that are a little prettier than what we currently have. And I know from our logo process that there are designers that we can utilize? Question mark?
Yes, there are like from the CNCF team, they have like a folks like focusing on art and templating and doing all those things, which we also reach out to for the Cloud Native Sustainability Week. This process takes a little bit of time. So it depends like a little bit like which kind of diagrams you're talking about. Because like if you are more talking about like regular diagrams in the sense of, okay, maybe like an organizational chart, we need to keep in mind that these diagrams also need to keep up to date. So our landscape is kind of changing fast. And expect probably like in a year, some stuff moves around. So we don't want to go through this process of always reaching out to a new design team. But if there's like other design elements which kind of are static, which are just nice to look at, so it's kind of improving the usability maybe in a way, we can definitely reach out. But this takes like probably like a month or so. Not sure if.
Oh wow!
Maybe
Okay. Yeah.
Not sure. Yeah.
All right. I think about it. Thank you very much.
Right. Awesome. Yeah. Thank you for working on this. It's, I think, like a very important project. Great. Awesome. All right. So we kind of now move to the last one. Is there any comments about the landscape document? I can quickly find. So there's like an open issue. Landscape. No. Right. So it's this one. So we, I think, was it like around a month ago, we had like a discussion about the landscape document, and Jochen proposed like a couple of ideas how to rewrite the landscape document so it's just like more appealing to actually the audience that uses it. So this is like the path to move forward. Let me send the link if you're interested. All right. Okay. So the last discussion item is about the Cloud Native Sustainability Week wrap-up blog post, which the Cloud Native Sustainability Week happened in October and was like a great event, big success. First time we organized an event like this. Probably you are aware of this. It's also on our website under events if you're interested about any further details. But we, so the discussion item here is just about a wrap-up blog post, which we are planning to work on, and we planned to release it last year, but we didn't have enough time. So the goal is now to schedule it before KubeCon. We have a lot of information gathered over surveys. And I think in general, it's just like a nice thing to wrap up and reflect again on this event. So if you were part of the event and would like to help out with the blog post, would be great. I can find the link to the issue in just a second. All right. Is there anything you would like to discuss? So we have still over 30 minutes, which is quite a bit.
Just a reminder that the KubeCon presentation proposals will be out on Monday. The acceptance or rejection should be, it's the 22nd. Sorry, I forgot how to speak there for a second.
All right. Okay. So if you don't have any more topics, feel free in general. We always have like this document open. So you can also add your topics ahead of time. If you would like to talk about anything. Check out the calendar. We usually keep it updated with any events or meetings we have. You can also subscribe to the calendar. And with that, I will stop the recording and stop sharing my screen. Thanks everybody for joining today.